Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we'll be taking a look back over my recent vintage pickups for August and early September 2024. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay, so these last sort of 6 weeks or so, a lot of my recent vintage pickups have been Penguin related. I've had stuff from that massive Penguin haul from my friend Matt, who was disposing of his granddad's collection. So I've been going through that, and I have picked up a few other smaller bits and pieces from that collection. Plus I've had a couple of book fairs as well, one of which was Penguin specific. So as you can imagine, I've picked up quite a bit of Penguin stuff. However, there is some other things in here which we'll have a look at as we go along. But this first one is also Penguin. It's a large hardback here. It's called All in Line. I've been after one of these in a dust wrapper for absolutely ages, and I finally got one. This one was £18. And it's part of the Penguin sort of miscellaneous series. You often see it like that without the dust wrapper, but this one's in a dust wrapper. Admittedly, the dust wrapper is a bit tatty, so what I'm going to be doing at some point is putting some plastic wrap around this one. I'm going to give it the treatment, but I'll take it out of the wrapper just for now because I want to clean the I want to brush the edges basically. But Steinberg was a cartoonist, and this one was published as a Penguin like miscellaneous title, so it's part of their Q series. I quite like the illustrations actually, they're pretty nice. I haven't been through the book completely yet, but I just had a little look here. Yeah, 1945. So not your regular Penguin book, that's for certain. So I think apart from, you know, the dust wrapper needing some protection, which it most definitely does, I think it's mainly just this top edge here, which was looking a little bit dusty. Yeah, got quite a bit out of that actually. So it's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic, meeting so many book friends, people I'd conversed with through email but hadn't actually met in the flesh ever, or sometimes not for quite a few years. So it was really good to meet up with some people at the Penguin event, and the following day at the Zardoz book fair in Wiltshire as well. So all in all, it was a really cracking weekend, and I've got a fair few events planned now between now and the start of December. So that's that one. So as I said, it's going to need plastic wrap protection around that, which I'm going to do, and that should hopefully just keep it all in place and stop these bits getting any worse, because they're tears, but they're not missing, so it's all there basically. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to put that safely over there, and we'll do this next hardback here. So yes, it's been fantastic in regards getting lots of Penguin stuff, but it's meant I've been a little bit limited with what else I've been picking up, but I have got other things on the horizon. This one's I picked up in Taunton, and you may have seen the video. I went to the Doctor Who exhibition, Doctor Who artwork exhibition in Taunton, and we thought, well, since we're here, we might as well check out the bookshops. And there's one decent second-hand bookshop, and then there's an Oxfam. And it was in the Oxfam that I got this particular one. Now, it is no dust wrapper on this one, sadly, but I'm not too fussed because I've actually got this to read, but it's still a first printing. So you can have a little guess while I'm cleaning it up. What could the TC stand for? That's the author's initials. Who can it be? Truman Capote. That's who it is. And this is the first American hardback for In Cold Blood, which was his great true crime one. Loads and loads of dust coming off this. I almost sort of can't believe it. There's absolutely stacks of dust coming off it. It's come up really nice. It's a shame there was no wrapper with this one, but that's sometimes what you have to have to expect. And one of these in a nice wrapper is the best part of £80 to £100. So I was very pleased to pay the £4.50, there we are, that I actually got this one for. So let's take that price out. Look at this, someone put their name inside, Richard Bull, April 2006. So that's a bit weird, isn't it? There we are. Yes, In Cold Blood. I've got the Penguin first of this because Penguin in the UK published this in paperback. I haven't got, I think it's Viking in the UK did it in hardback first in the UK, but yeah. There's also a very, very good movie adaptation of this. Basically, it's about how the process Caputi went to actually get the book written, because it took him years to do, about 6 years, and he got to know the two killers, because there were two brothers who did this like killing in cold blood, and they killed a family in in a farmhouse really right out in the sticks, and they just went there and slaughtered the whole family. And he had help writing it and pulling it together by Harper Lee of To Kill a Mockingbird fame, and they were childhood friends and they stayed together, and she sort of helped him get the book finally sort of in print and finished. So it's a really, really great story, and I'm looking forward to diving into that one. Still loads of dust coming off this. I suspect it may be from my brush, from all the penguins I've been doing. And also the book. There we are. So that's that one. Now one other big hardback. This is Nicholas Pevsner, The Life. Not sure how I missed this one first time round, but Nicholas Pevsner was the driving force behind Penguin's Building of England series. This was an expensive hardback when it came out. It's £30. And it's the complete sort of history of the series and Pevsner himself, how he went to basically devoted his entire life to the series. Yeah, I got this for £6 plus a little bit of discount, so I think I did very well there. Huge book, but one which I'm glad to have as part of my Penguin library. It has been read, so it's not immaculate, but it's not bad. Yeah, so pleased to get that one. That's another big book out of the way. Didn't need much cleaning on that. Now I picked up a few box sets, and I think we'll do those next. Now these box sets were ones, well, they came from all over the place. I got a couple from Zardoz. I got one odd one off eBay. There's some more to come, which were in the Penguin collection I've been sorting out. But this is misread. I mean, ordinarily I wouldn't have even entertained these misread books because it's not an author I read. Never am going to read them. But the box set was pretty much given to me, so I and as I said, I am doing a video on Penguin box sets quite soon. So I'll just go through these, see if there's any pencil markings. What you find with box sets is in a lot of cases the books generally tend to be unread. If the box set has been given out as a present, then potentially it's never been read at all, and or the books have never been read, or sometimes you see one book has been read and the rest of them are untouched. So these are all appearing unread. So let's just do the tops as we go along. Now the actual box set itself doesn't appear to be too bad, but there is, like, because of when this was made, this one was 1977, this box set, has got, that would have been had a sticker on like £2 or something like that. It is going to benefit ever so slightly from a polish, because there are some little marks and stuff on it which may well come off with a bit of polish. One of the books sadly is like sort of damaged there, and the other one's got a spine crease. But as I said, it was dirt cheap, so I'm not going to complain money-wise. So let's just whack a bit of Mr. Sheen on, and give the generally clean boards a bit of a polish. These are not too bad, are they? But yeah, Miss Reed would certainly, never be an author that I personally would read, but she had her fans, and there was an awful, she's very, very prolific. There we are, let's tidy that up a little bit. See if we can get that bit off the bottom. So it's seemingly been quite a while since I've done a pickups video, and of course that's simply because I had such a big Penguin collection in. I've not been looking to buy much books, or many books, but as you can imagine, being in the vicinity of so many great books recently, look at the dirt off that, being in the vicinity of so many great books recently, inevitably I'm bound to pick up some, aren't I? And that's what's happened. Plus sometimes you just get rarities that come your way and you just have to grab them when you see them. It is as simple as that. Right, Spike Milligan. Don't mind a bit of Spike Milligan. He's a bit dated these days, but it is what it is. In his day, he was supremely popular, you know. Now, these books, I believe, are all just reprints. Are they 70s again? I think they are. '74, yeah. Yeah, the master of the Christmas book, wasn't he, in his day? And we'd always forget his war record, of course. So those books are actually, I'd say, really nice condition. So we don't need to worry about those at all. Now, this particular box set, I'm pretty sure, in fact, I'm certain I've got this one. But it's, this bit here is completely faded. Being red, very, very susceptible to fading. So that's why I'm replacing it. Once again, it was at Zardoz, the Zardoz, the collectible paperback fair that we went to in Wiltshire. And there was an awful lot of books there in Morris's warehouse that were very, very reasonably priced, like £1. And this box set here was £2. I mean, you can't really go wrong at that price, can you? It's got a rip on there, which is probably why Morris has popped it into the cheap section, but I don't mind. As I said, it's still an improver on the one that I've actually owned, so I can't complain. And the books themselves are mint, aren't they? So there we go. Now, this one isn't a box set. This is another one in the Q series. This is a real treasure, this one. Probably the most expensive. Well, yeah, I think possibly the most expensive. Certainly one of the rarest books I've got to show you today. This is The Golden Ass. Ass, as they say in the West Country. Now, this is a classic that was translated by none other than Robert Graves. You've probably heard of him. And Robert Graves, Lucius, The Golden Ass by Lucius Apelius, The Transformation of Lucius. Now, this was published as a miscellaneous title, but in a limited edition, which we'll have a look at in just a sec, once I've cleaned what were referred to as the rails. This is a expensive book, this one. Really, it originally came in a slipcase, and my friend Matt had one in a slipcase, and he offered it to me just after I picked this one up. So this is, number 9, 1998, signed by Robert Graves there. yeah, so my friend Matt's actually got one in his slipcase. Sadly, mine hasn't. So I don't really know what to do. I might have Matt's off him and then have a spare to trade on or pop online, possibly, because I suppose I would like it with a slipcase, but it's just been one that I've been after for quite a while. And when one came along at a good price, I thought, yeah, I'll grab that, So there we are. And just that there was an original price in there somewhere, wasn't there? Yeah, look at that, $2.49. Probably came out of a charity shop. A really nice one in a nice slipcase is 50 quid these days. So there you go. Yes, I may end up getting that slipcased one off Matt because he didn't sell it at the Penguin Collectors Fair. But £50 is what they go for. Now we got one more box set, which is this one, Laurie Lee. I suppose his 3 most classic ones. This one's got a bit of fading of the spine, which is a little bit unfortunate, but the books themselves appear to be nice. Once again, they're all going to be reprints. They're not going to be first printings. And Cider with Rosie was the book I had to study for my O-level English literature many years ago. They're all sort of autobiographical, and looking back, the books aren't bad at all. I can see why they were in print a long time. I do regret I had the chance to pick up some of them signed, and I never got around to it. So my bad. Okay, so I took a short break there, basically overnight, if you can believe it. So I have already checked the books inside. I do need to give the box itself a bit of a polish. So yeah, so we had my daughter's dog round yesterday, and basically all filming had to be abandoned. He's a massive golden retriever, and the instant he saw me going into the studio, he wanted to be involved. So I had to give him all the attention and wait till today, which is what we're doing. So yeah, this wasn't too bad. I just needed to give it that little once over. I got this one off eBay actually, and God, it's very, very dusty top there. That's come up lovely, and so I'm pleased to get it. Once again, it's sort of mid-70s, so it's a little bit after my sort of key period for Penguin, but I didn't mind too much because it was really cheap, so that's cool. Right, now we got a little bit of science fiction here. So once again, I believe I got all 3 of these in Taunton, and yeah, they were £3 each, which wasn't bad. There's 30 volumes in the new writings in SF, and certainly it's a great series. There's a lot of good stuff in here. I am after like pretty nice high grade copies if I can find them, which isn't always possible. And yeah, this is the volume here, number 16. Look at that. In affectionate memory of John Benyon Harris, known better to SF readers as John Wyndham. Look at that. He was only 66 when he'd passed away. It's what a shame that is, isn't it? See, I believe this is going to leave me about 2 for the set. So I am almost there after these couple, which is pretty good. It's not difficult to get. I believe number 30, like a lot of series, it was the very last one, and it was also the lowest print run. So that, if any of them are going to give you a problem, it's that one. A fair batch of them were actually released in hardback, but I haven't sort of gone down that road. I'm more than happy to have them in paperback. Ken Bulmer, a little digit here. It's been a while since I picked up any digit at all. What I really need to do is go to somewhere like Morris's, and yeah, this was the original owner there, Chris Mayers. Is go to somewhere like Morris's, all you need is books, and go through his warehouse, and I believe his digit books are actually to one side. He's got them all separated. And as he has a lot of his more vintage publishers like Badger and Panther and things like that. His Pam books as well. Now a few more Penguins now. So these are, once again, these were part of the Penguin miscellaneous. You can actually see it there. It's a Q for miscellaneous. It doesn't quite fit into any particular series, and these were from the collection of Alan, being sold on by his grandson Matt to other collectors. And the Q series is not one I've ever really tried to track down, because it's a lot of unusual titles, and there's some difficult ones in there. Even now, as we film this, I think I've got a copy of Nothing Personal, which is quite a nice art book, but I don't think, I'm going to have to be extremely lucky to get a copy of Q40, which is the Puffin Reader's Diary for, I believe, 1967. It was the first one they did, and that one's legendary scarce. If anyone's got one of those, in half reasonable shape, you could probably ask a couple of £100 for it, I would think, and get that fairly easily. The other really tough one, which I have actually got, is Q99, which is the publisher's complete catalogue up to about 1970-71. So it's absolutely invaluable if you're a Penguin collector. And I've got a really excellent condition copy. There was one at the Penguin Collectors show, which was, I would say, at best VG, and that one went for £125. So yeah, genuinely scarce and very much in demand, that one. This one's a little bit lower grade, but I don't mind. I'm not like mad fussed on condition on these ones. Just nice to get a few. I'll be virtually there, to be honest. I think after everything has come together, I'll be after Nothing Personal, but as I said, I think I've got a copy now from another collector who's going to let me have theirs. And it will just leave the diary then. I think everything else I've now got, which I'm really pleased about, because it's a bit of an achievement. They may not all be pristine mint, but at least I've got an example of each, which is all that I'm really fussed about. This is Q24. But they are a real mixture of titles. These are all B formats. The second Penguin book of English madrigals. Look at that. Songs. You can see why this didn't quite fit into any particular series. So it just got released on its own as a Q. As in miscellaneous. A miscellaneous title. But there are other books in the Penguin main series that were also like slightly odd. And they were also released as part of main series, so yeah, or a special or something like that. So no real rhyme or reason to it. But I suppose the ones that are Qs are a little bit more unusual. Okay, so that's all those. So we will sort of clean as we go on this lot today. I think is probably the best plan, rather than leaving all the cleaning to the end. We shall do it in little batches. There we are. Now, just looking at some of these, whether they deserve just the once over with the polish. They've all got nice glossy covers, so I don't think it's going to hurt. So I will give these particular ones the once over. I find that this little, need to get a nice clean bit of polish, so clean bit of duster, I should say. There we are. And we'll just impregnate it, as opposed to really soaking it in. Just enough to give these a gentle once over. But because I've not bought a lot this month with regards, other books apart from the big collection, I don't feel the books that I picked up, on the whole, are pretty nice condition. I've not bought anything too tatty, and I think because ultimately space is at a bit of a premium, there's no denying that at the moment, whilst I'm in a bit of a state of flux because we're slowly but surely getting the house ready to sell, and that does involve me shifting, literally selling quite a lot of old toys and Star Wars figures and Star Wars collectibles and things like that. Now, I've already got rid of quite a bit of it, literally a van load. I got rid of a whole transit load of old Star Wars stuff, but there's still about that much there again to sell again. And also a lot of old Simpsons and Futurama toys and things like that. Really, really nice, good stuff, but also a time-consuming beast. And I need a bit of room to sort of work it now. Fairly recently, my son has left home. He's off to university now. He's at university, I should say. So it does mean that I can store some of my book collection in his room, his old room, until the library comes along. I'll still have access to it, of course. So if I need to pull books out, because it's all nicely documented, I've got everything on computer nowadays. So I know exactly where everything is, pretty much what box it's in. It's not difficult for me to pull out a particular book should I need to. So, for example, on my Penguin collection now, I've only got the first 1,500 actually out shelved. From 1,500 upwards, they're now in comic boxes, all in order numerically. Everything is documented, which ones I'd like to upgrade, which ones are absolutely fine, which is the bulk of it really. Obviously which ones I'm missing, so I know exactly what's what. And to give you an example, I've got a video coming up which is going to be looking at Philip K. Dick in, well, basically my Philip K. Dick collection. So I've got him in Penguin, I've got lots of Panther editions, I've got some American Ace doubles, I've got even some hardbacks. So I'm a really interesting author across many different publishers. I think it'll be a really good video to pull together. But the Penguin ones, already that little particular run, when they published him in the 2400s with Man in a High Castle, that's already been, I think that's number 2376, that's already been packed away because that 100's been done. But I know exactly where it is. I can put my hand right on it, along with the rest of them. So as long as I can do that, I don't mind having the stuff boxed up for the time being, because when we eventually move, I'll be able to move it to a purpose-built dedicated library, and that's when it'll all come out, and I shall be very happy indeed. So that's the long-term plan with it. But until then, I need to box clever, as it were, and that's exactly what I'm doing. There we are. So they're all looking very groovy. Right, we've got a few more bits and bobs here, so let's pull these out. So we got, now this one, from Matt again, I picked up a few Penguin specials. You see, that's a Penguin special, but it's 95 cents. The Last Confucian, and this was a Vietnam book, and it wasn't published over here. It was first published in the USA. So I was delighted to see that this one was included in the Penguin Special Collection. That was really, really good. So I was able to pick out a lot, not quite all of them, but a fair few of the specials that I needed. So I've pretty much got the full set now, and I was able to get a nice batch of books that I needed to upgrade. So that was really good as well, because I had some specials that were a bit low grade, and I've been able to upgrade them, which is super cool. These ones here were from the 60s, and because they've got these red spines, they're very, very susceptible to fading. They just fade, and all the ones of mine that have faded, I'd made a note of as ones to try and find nice copies of down the line. And when Matt's granddad's collection turned up, I asked Matt, when he gets to the specials, if he wouldn't mind pulling these ones out for me, and that's exactly what he did. He sold a fair batch to other collectors and also at the Penguin Collectors meetings, so he has still got some left though. But generally specials don't sell for mega money or anything, between £3 and £5 a pop. Even a lot of the wartime ones. This one here is an upgrade. It's Penguin number 22. I got it from Dorset Bob, and I was really pleased to get it. He recently did a video of Penguin books that he had come his way. Some very nice crime ones and that. But this was one of my earliest ones that was in a right old state. So yeah, he had £6 on this, which wasn't bad. As I said, my original is really rough. The wrapper's faded, but my current one hasn't got a wrapper at all. But you see underneath, it's actually really nice. So what I'm going to do, there's a couple of things to be done on this one. The first, as you'll see, is it's just starting to come away there. So I'm going to run a slither of glue. Now, I haven't used the glue in weeks, so let's hope that it's going to come out okay. I say weeks, it's probably been about 2 weeks since I've done any gluing at all or any book repair videos. Oh, here we go, yeah. So I'm squeezing it down. Now, you may not have seen me use this glue before, but I'm a recent convert to it. Really, really good. Perfect for repairing paperbacks like we're doing here. And the reason I like it is because when it dries completely clear. Just like an ordinary book, really. So you can't see where you've been gluing. It doesn't leave a mess, a bit like Pritt Stick does. So it's called this one, Pin Flare Glue It. And it is book binding glue. The only thing is, you need to just use your fingertips to clean the end, the nozzle, because else it just seals up and you can't get the next bit of glue out. So we probably don't have much gluing to do today, but look, that's a really nice one compared to what I had. I've taken it out of the wrapper because I do also want to give this one a brush while we're at it. Like that, that's okay. And I think, even though it's got a faded wrapper, this one will go on my bookcase, my bookshelf rather. I think I will leave it in the dust wrapper. Now, my first 100 penguins have all been bagged up. So, and we've got a couple of other books here which I've got, which are also going to require bagging. So I'm going to do a little bagging video or a little bagging session at the end of this video. So this one's going to go to one side as one that actually does need to be bagged up. Because as I said, my first 100 penguins are already bagged. So I want to keep that one with it. A Badger book. Yeah, we love Badger. This was another one from Dorset Bob. Now, I'm off to Dorset Bob's a couple of weeks from when I film this. So I'll be able to have a chance to have a look through his warehouse, which has been quite some time since I've done that. But this one was cheap and cheerful. It's got that stain down the bottom, which is not great, but it is a digit that I've not got. It's fairly square, number 91. The cover's quite nice, so it is what it is. Take out the little 5p. I recently did a video looking at vintage book sales online on eBay, and I specifically looked up Badger books and could not see many. The most famous one, the Rodent Mutation, a copy of that one had sold. Oh, well, I didn't realise that. Look, it's actually signed by Lionel Fanthorpe, who is, of course, many names. So look, Bromfane, yeah, R.L. Fanthorpe, there is. Bromfane is one of his pseudonyms. And there we are. Well, he didn't say that. So it's a signed one. Well, that's even better, isn't it? You know, I have got a few signed badges by Fanthorpe, but that does make it all the worthwhile, doesn't it? That is lovely. Cool, dusty. Yeah, Bob didn't let on that it was a signed one, so I'm sure he knew, and he did that as a little surprise for me. He knows of my love of Badger. Bob himself has got an absolutely stunning collection of them. So when I polish in a minute, there's a little mark up there which is going to need addressing. Now here's another real scarce Penguin. This is a Prisoner of War issue. Now once again, I will be giving this one a bag later on, but the POW issues, as far as I know, have all got the same advert on the back, which is another little telltale sign. But generally you can't tell they're POW until you open them up, and they're like that. Because what these were, initially these were Forces Book Club titles that didn't sell and then were rebound and sent to prisoner of war camps. This is one that obviously hasn't gone out that way. So it's a POW, and it's really, really nice. It's beautiful condition. I mean, I'm over the moon with that. Once again, that's another one which will need bagging. I've got all my POWs together, so I shall bag that one as well. Lovely. Another scarce Penguin. This is an Argentinian. Look at this. Pinguino. Now, I got this one from Andrew Mallin at the Penguin Collectors Show. He charged me £10 for it, which I didn't think was bad at all, because they are very, very hard to get. You can pick up these from eBay Argentina, and the books themselves are reasonably priced. It's just the postage getting them over here. I think they have to use something like DHL or something like that, and it just works out extremely expensive unless you get lucky and you find a little wedge of them all in one hit. So someone's put like 10 of them up or something like that. I don't know off the top of my head exactly how many were made, but on the second day after the Penguin Collectors Show at the Zardoz book fair in Wiltshire, one of my viewers, James, turned up, and he had 11 Argentinian ones. And I said to James, how did he get them? He says, well, he spends 6 months of the year working in Buenos Aires, so he's in the right place to find them, of course, and he knows what he's looking for, and consequently they're on his radar, you know. So how cool is that, you know? Very, very nice indeed. These are extremely dusty. Extremely dusty. Yes, so that's another one which, because of its fragility and it's very, very tanned and that, once again, that definitely needs to be bagged up. Okay, slight change of pace now with a couple of other bits of point of sale and catalogues and stuff. And this one here is a PAM catalogue for August 1968. How cool is this? Never seen this one before, so I don't know how scarce it is. I mean, all of them are hard to find these days. And yeah, that I believe is how it should be, laid flat like that. And well, let's have a little look. There's this is obviously more towards the end of my pan collecting era, but there is some really cool stuff here, like display material, a Chitty Chitty Bang Bang triptych, which I imagine is like a 3-panel display, something along those lines. Pan books, letter sets, Pan Man, Pan book of sale, show cards, banners, and then the Dolly Dolly Spy, which I think dropped like a bomb, because they're touting this as the next James Bond. It absolutely wasn't. Loads of POS for that. There we are, little counter display boxes there. Bins, a cutout figure. Yeah. Evidently didn't quite do what they were perhaps expecting it to do. But I love these old catalogues. I really, really do. I can't get enough of them. And although this isn't like a mega great one, it's still really, really nice to have. And as I said, they don't turn up very often. So I'm personally going to keep that flat like that, I think. back it onto a bit of like a bit of cardboard and put that in like a magazine bag to keep it flat, because I think that's how it was probably issued, and it's just been folded over time. So that's that one. I've got a few other bits and pieces while we're here. So I've got a library editions one. This is from a Penguin bound editions. And what I'm going to do, none of these, I don't think any of this needs cleaning. I just wanted to sort of record that I picked them up. I'm going to, keeping track of this sort of stuff is very, very difficult. So I've actually got all my sort of little Penguin catalogues and bookmarks and stuff like that out. I'm going to double check it all against my spreadsheet. So this is really good. So this is announced in the English the Penguin English Library, and they say planned for 1966. This would have been like early 66 or late 65. So it enables me to at least roughly date it. I mean, they've really gone to town with the English Library, and although I don't have many, I may be able to get some from that down the line. I did say express an interest, shall we say. The literature of the British Isles in Penguin, a chronology. Well, this is interesting. I see it's 1980 is how far it goes up to. So that enables us to date it, doesn't it? Which is quite good. Once again, this would have been given out as a freebie in a bookshop, as a little tool to help sell some Penguin classics, probably. This one I was absolutely delighted with. Look at this. So you may have seen the 25 years bookmark, quite common in actual fact, that one, and they use that graphic there but in orange. But this one here is the big concertina look. So there's 10 books there for 25 years of Penguin, and then there's another 10 on the back. Oh, another 25 on the back, so look at that. So yeah, so 25 books for 25 years that were celebrated. That would make quite an interesting little video. I've got one coming up on 50 Penguin years, which is not that far away now. I've got some really, really amazing stuff to share with you. One bit is actually in the framers at the moment, so once that's back, I'll be all set to do that. This is great. So this is the Penguin classified list for 1954. It's the one that I was missing. I don't think I'm missing any of it. I think I've now got them all. But one of the reasons I've got all my POS and bits and bobs out is because I wanted to double check exactly what I did have and make sure I wasn't missing anything. So this one's got a couple of little pencil marks in, but it's absolutely fine. Quite nice. You know, they're real sort of period pieces, and I just love this sort of stuff. Where they have a bit of fun with the Penguin list. It's fantastic. Here's another one. Penguin Classics Quiz. A. Brown and Sons Book Department in Hull. Extracts from the Penguin Classics in a quiz form. There we are. So you had to guess where they were from, I guess. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder when that date's from. Yeah, might need to do some research on that. It's not always obvious, you know. What's this? 3 P's for the 3 R's. Okay. 1960 for schools and colleges. A very studious Penguin there on the back. This is books that were designed or could be used in schools. So yeah, Penguin Educational List for 1960. That's quite nice, isn't it? I can't imagine there's many of those left around. Now, I was able to pick up some absolutely stunning Puffin catalogues, and I just love them so much, and I don't think I had any at all. None at all. So I think these must be scarcer than the Penguin ones, but they're not ones I've really tried to also track down, you know, but now I've got some. I think they're gorgeous. So 1972, 500 Puffins for the picking. Aren't they just a delight, these, eh? This is quite long as well, 72 pages. Info on becoming a member of the Puffin Club, which many people did, of course. I think. Just wondered who did the introduction there. I was going to say it must be Kay Webb, and there we are. It was. That's lovely, isn't it? And we've got a few of these. This is the one for 71, Puffins on Parade. Absolutely gobsmackingly good, these. They're just amazing. 4p. So they did sell this for 4p. Similar format to the one we've just looked at. K-Web again, KW. Wow. Now this one's slightly thinner. Puffins on Parade. Puffins by age group. By age groupings. 1971. Okay, and then it's got for the very young, and then it works its way around through the ages. And of course, the whole point of the Puffins was that they would grow up and then become Penguin readers, of course. So that was the point. Now this one I don't think is dated. Puffins for Children. I wonder if this is like the first one. I'd be surprised if there wasn't a date on it somewhere. But if not, the only way we're going to be able to tell is by having a look at the books that are included, you know. Nothing in the introduction there. So coming shortly is page 20. So if we have a look at page 20, there we are. So there we are. So 1962, this one, because these are the books coming in 1962. Look, all of those out there. So that dates that one at Puffins for Children, 1962. There we are. Brilliant. Does that mean there was a 63, 64 to 67? Well, here's the 66 one. There's a Puffin for every pocket between 3 and 13. Oblong format, this. And similar sort of thing, it just goes through the catalogue. This one, once again, has got a few notations in by the look of it. A few little stars and that, but I'm not fussed about that, to be honest. I'm not going to go through and rub them all out at all. That's absolutely fine. What's this? Help them grow happy with Puffins. And this is Puffins by the age groups again. 1970, so easily dated. So I'll record all of these. So basically the way I do it, I've got all my Penguin and Puffin point of sale, catalogues, anything like that. And I've got it by year, right back to the very start. And that will just go under the 1970 bit. So yeah, that's how I keep a track of it. So as long as it's dated, or we can date it, then I know where I'm at. So the Puffin catalogue for 67, 68, another gorgeous, gorgeous book. I wonder how scarce these are. I mean, you see the Penguin ones a lot, but I don't know, maybe I just didn't take much attention to the Puffin ones. But now that I've got a few, I think they're absolutely gorgeous. I love the design on them. And I haven't got a lot of Puffins. I'm amazed I never tracked these down. The first 50 peregrines. Now I've only got a handful of peregrines. I know there's some in Matt's collection, which I might be potentially interested in. They're very, very highbrow literary titles. I can't imagine I'd be reading many of them, but you know, I might. Oh, quite a bit of this POS stuff. There's more to come, if you can believe it. So we got, what's this? Funga alla crema. Oh, a little thing for Penguin cookbooks. There are over 50 Penguin cookbooks to choose from. Okay, so that's that. This is a little booklet on Hemingway. I love these. 5 new in Penguins, and they use that image there. So this is was it about 1966 that they published them? Something like that. I'll be able to date it from when the books came out. Because he was on the cover of the Penguin Book News as well. And I've got a bookmark. I've never seen this little booklet before. So that's really good. That sort of completes Penguin and Hemingway, because I've got all the books. So I shall certainly be having a video on that, I think, now that I've got them all. Illustrated English history in 4 volumes. So this is like a booklet for the 4 volumes in Pelican, I believe. Yeah, which I'm pretty sure I've got. I've got that in a slipcase. So yeah, boxed sets, 34 shillings. So I will have this to hand, because I have a video planned, as I said, on box sets. So that's really cool. Another odd issue of Puffin Post. That was all right. Volume 2, number 2. I did have a volume 2 number 6 which I sent up to a friend of mine because it had a Pauline Baines bit inside. I know Andrew Mallon's got an awful lot of these, and potentially I might be tempted to start collecting them because I think they are really nice. But look at that. Rosemary with one of the prizes, our own specially designed revolving Puffin go-round bookcases. Look at that. A little Puffin bookcase there. That's interesting. Not seen one of them before. Very cool. Yeah. So potentially I'll keep a record of that. I've got a couple of Puffin posts already. I may well try and track a few more down. Right, so this is a bit of an unusual one, and I was pleased to get it. It's a bound copy, as you can see, of The Thin Man by Dashiell Hammett. And if we have a look, it's not got the Penguin covers on, but it's clearly the Penguin edition there. And it actually was the first printing from 1935. So in actual fact, quite a funky edition to read of The Third Man, if you ask me. I mean, absolutely amazing when you think about it. I noticed there's a little like tick or something there, so let's get my rubber. Not sure what that is down. Is that? Yeah, that was pencil. I've got a few bound Penguins, and I tend to just pick them up if they're interesting, really. If they're just interesting. I don't know if it's a healthy obsession or not, because they don't really fit in with anything. But they're so unusual, I don't like to leave them behind. This is one I got off Joe Pearson, and I was really pleased to get it, because he finds the stuff, and he has done over the years. He's perhaps one of the best sniffers out of rare penguins that there's ever been. I mean, he turned it into a fine art in the 80s and 90s when people really weren't picking this stuff up, and he was there hoovering up so many rarities. He got some absolutely astonishing finds. Now, I had a good chat with Joe at the Penguin Collectors show, and he's about to start moving his collection back into his house, which has all been done up. I think he's got the Dream Library almost ready to be filled with books, the same as I'm working on. There we are. And when they're done, we're going to go around and we're going to film some of his collection. Joe is a publisher, of course, and Design for Today is his publishing house, and they produce some absolutely beautiful books. So you can follow Design for Today on Instagram. Is probably the easiest way to see what they're getting up to. But that's really nice. So looking forward to doing that with Joe over the next, so probably early in the new year, I would think. Right, a few more specials. I think this is one of the ones that I was missing. A little 15p on the front. We don't want that, do we? America, the Mixed Curse. There we are. Yeah, be inside as well. So I've still got a small pile that are going to need polishing in a bit. So we'll do that once we've got a nice pile. The video's not going to be mega long this time round. You know, I haven't bought that much. As I said, I've been trying to be good, which has been difficult. But I know what's coming up. You know, I've got the London Paperback show where I always pick up some fantastic stuff at that one. So that one to be polished in a minute. Yeah, we've got the London Paperback show coming up, which isn't too far away. I think it's on the 23rd or 24th of November. That's in London. And absolutely, that's the show to be at. I mean, boy, oh boy. Dealers tend to bring along their very best stuff. And I cannot wait to go to that one. I won't be selling at that. I shall just be along filming it and also helping out at Dorset Bob. meeting customers and generally having an absolute whale of a time, because that's the sort of show it is. Unbelievably amazing. It's just great. Another blob of something on there. So I said these are going to be polished in a minute, but I'm just going to do the internals and also brush the edges as well. Yeah, there we are. Prague green. Spring. Now this was an upgrade, and if you can believe it, that was still better than, I believe, better than the one that I've got. So I'm pleased to have it. Obviously very, very delicate, this special. So I'm paying extra special attention, rubbing out the place and date that it was purchased. So one of the hallmarks of Matt's granddad's collection was that it was he would write in the place and the date of where he bought the books, you know, which is fine, but it's only really of interest to him rather than anybody else. And I do get the odd person say, oh, by doing what I'm doing right now, you're erasing history, you're taking away the book's identity. The charm of collecting these books is so that you can see where they come from. Well, not to me. I want them as near to how they were published as possible. That's how I collect. You know, so I say, get a life, guys. You know what I mean? I think they're being a bit silly. I don't want someone's 25p in. Yes, it might be part of the history of the book, but you know, so what? I'm not celebrating the fact that it's been sold in a second-hand shop. You know what I mean? So they can just, in my books, I'm sort of entitled to do whatever I like to them. Simple as that. And I like to get them as near to perfection as possible. And what's wrong with that, you know? I just want them cleaned. So if you don't agree with it, then why are you watching? Well, they're a gorgeous book, and another one of the miscellaneous titles. Absolutely gorgeous, that. I mean, these have been around. They're not particularly difficult to get or anything like that. They are just scarce. That's all. They're scarce. Right. Really pleased to get this one. What I meant to ask Joe was if this had actually got issued in a dust wrapper or not, which is a bit frustrating. This is Q number 1. Joe actually had a copy there, so I'm not sure if his was in a wrapper or not. He had £40 on it, which I thought was, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was nice. It was bright. It was brighter than this one, but this is a pretty nice copy. So I'm happy with this. Even if it was issued in a wrapper, I'm not too worried about not having one, because I just want a copy of the book rather than in a wrapper. That's really nice. That. So these two here can't, of course, be polished, so I'm going to just do the edges now. Dusty old tomes. Now I notice on this modern battle there is actually the smallest hint of sellotape along the top there, which is a shame. I'm going to leave that there because that's actually an upgrade, and I'm going to compare it to the one that I've got. I still think this is better than the one that I've currently got, so I can't really complain. And then the last one in this little batch is this, which is the Biafra story, which mine's got a completely faded spine. This is faded a little bit, but not as badly as mine, which is virtually white. This one was, you know, out of all the specials, I suppose this is another one that can sometimes go for about a tenner or so, because it's got a very, well, in fact, it's the first ever book by thriller writer Frederick Forsyth, who worked briefly for Penguin. So there we are, look, Frederick Forsyth, there we are. Yeah, this is his first book. I think it's like a work of journalism, and I think it's I don't think it's scarce. If you wanted one, you could jump on somewhere like eBay or ABE Books and pick up, have your choice of 6 or 7 copies, so it's not rare. But it is one that's sought after, I guess, by the Frederick Forsyth collectors. I mean, how collectible he really is these days. I mean, it's not like he's doing new books. In fact, I think he may have even passed away. But certainly the first book by the author of The Fourth Protocol, that was his most famous one, wasn't it? So just to shake it up a little bit, we'll have a look at the last bits of POS and unusual items that I've picked up. So this was the memorial booklet that was given to people attending Alan Lane's funeral. And this is the original one. It has been reprinted in facsimile form by the Penguin Collectors Society, but this is an original. So that's quite nice to get one of those. A little look at law, a Penguin book list, a Penguin law books. Not something I think I've ever really looked at. This looks like it's very early 1970s, but quite interesting and part of the Penguin collection. An odd issue of the newsletter, number 11, which is one that I was missing. I didn't realise I was missing this one because I had some other early ones off Matt. And also number 37, I picked this one up at the Penguin Collectors Show. So I think I'm only missing about 4 newsletters now to have the full run of 101, bar issue 100 as we speak. This was really nice. This is the paperback by Desmond Fowler. This was a speech that he gave at the Triple Crown Club, or Double Crown Club in April 59. And it's got a foreword by Alan Lane, and this was privately printed. I guess this original is scarce. I don't know how many were printed, but this is one of them. And I thought that this had never been reprinted, and I thought it would be an ideal candidate for the Penguin Collectors Society to reprint it. But I believe either they have or somebody has, although I don't remember coming across that reprint myself. So whether it's one that I've missed somehow, I don't know. But there you go. But I believe it has already been reprinted. It's not very long, but it's sort of a lot on the origins of the paperback and Alan Lane's obvious contribution to the history of the paperback. So pretty nice that. I'll just give this the brush now. There we are. You can see this one's it's faded. You see that line there? You see the different colours? And that's where something's been popped on top of it. If you can imagine this was another book, something just like that. And that's how it's been left. And this bit's caught the sun and faded the bit that you can see. When you take it away, look, that's what the whole cover should be like that. And that is an example of sun fading and how you've got to be so flipping careful. You really, really do. This was nice as well. This was from Tim Graham. Now, Tim had a big pile of these, and you may remember 2 or 3 years ago, I think 2 years ago, Tim had the collection of Penguin collector and book dealer Ken Swift. Ken never dealt in penguins, to the best of my knowledge, but he did collect them, and Tim must have had a pile of about 20 of these. So absolutely phenomenal. So it's not a Puffin picture book, but it's that style. It's that format for Hamlet. Scenes from the movie. Yeah, very, very nice indeed, this. Yeah. Benjamin Pollock. It's a Pollock Theatre. So, I mean, ordinarily, that one used to be quite expensive. So, I don't know, maybe the value has suddenly plummeted on something like that now, since he's got so many. Very pleased to get this. This was the final issue of Penguin's Progress that I needed. It's the only one which is in this much larger format. Unfortunately, the cover is extremely delicate, but as you can see, it's filled with Penguin goodness. Look at that picture there in the warehouse of packets of Penguin books there. Extremely cool. Extremely cool. And it's, you know, it's your normal Penguin sort of catalogue, new titles and things like that, as you can see. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love this sort of stuff. And this was the last one I needed to finish the set. It's the hardest one. Nobody's got it. It's the one always missing. And every time, the last 2 or 3 times when it's turned up, I've always missed out on it. So delighted to get that. This was cool as well. Penguin Modern Painters. This is also off Joe Pearson. And this was just, I think it was maybe £3 or £4. Just one that I know I haven't got. I've slowly but surely been picking these up as I've been finding them, and none of them have been hard to get. So quite pleased to tick a few of those off. And this is another one off the list, number 20. It might even be the very final one. So yeah, that was cool. Now I picked up some memorabilia as well. So I got this one odd Puffin mug here. This one for Black Beauty. I haven't got any Puffin mugs. This was the Arts Meets Matter company. They're the ones who did the regular Penguin mugs. And I got some bookmarks as well. This is Andrew Mallon's one. It's photos of his collection. A couple of Heifer's Bookshop, the Penguin Bookshop in Trumpington. I've got these already. I just love them. I actually use them. A Young Bond one, which I'm not sure if I've got that or not, so I'm going to keep it. Olivia Manning, the Balkan trilogy. This is for February 74. It's all great related stuff, you know. So I've got loads and loads of bookmarks. I just love collecting them, so I'm not going to stop picking them up. Fire from Heaven, Funt and Wilder and Penguins, Science and Technology. See, there's loads of them. Penguin selection of June Penguins, Penguin Reference Library. Then these were all part of a series of Business and Management, Science, Peregrines, Education, Mathematics. There's some inside here, Geography. I'll have to go through these, but these are all very, very similar. Economics, Language. There's loads, isn't there? So they're all very, very cool indeed. So that's all good stuff. Right. Well, we are getting towards the end now. So let's get some more books out. So we got a couple of services editions. Once again, these will be bagged up once I've been through them. These are improvers over the copies that I've got. So that is why I have these. Believe it or not, Sir Charles in Burma. So that's cool. Got the services edition on the top there. So that was all right. That would need to be bagged as well. Got a little. I'm making a note that some of these need to be brushed as well. Another service edition. This is number 2. Escape to Switzerland. This is miles better than the copy that I've got. So very pleased to get that. So let's just give those 2 old ones a brush now. Yeah, it's still not coming up as well as I'd like. There we are. Got to be fairly careful with those ones. Okay, an American one, one odd American one. I've started, I wouldn't say I've actively started to try and get these now, but when I see them, if they're ones I haven't got, I am going to pick them up. This one, I gotta say, is a little bit the worse for wear, but I don't think it was very expensive. It's like a pound or something like that. So I thought I'd just grab it. But yeah, he's a little bit on the worn side, but at least it's a copy. Silver Jackass, which is better than nothing, but it's not great. That's certainly true. 1947, so it is what it is. We'll give that a little polish as well, so I can go the polish pile. This was nice. This is the 40th, and I'm going to take this out. Yet another bookmark, but it came with this one, so 40 years of Puffin, but I'll put that with the other bookmarks that I've got, because they're like kept separately. There they are. A little potted history of 40 years of Puffin books, which is really nice. But it doesn't quite fit in the copy of Wurzel Gummidge there. But this is the facsimile of Wurzel Gummidge. So look at that once again, the way it's been stored. It's caught a tiniest little fraction of sun, which has faded that bottom edge. Apart from that, it's nice. This is a facsimile of issue, and on the back, a facsimile of the first ever Puffin storybook. There we are. And it'll probably say something inside. Yeah, special anniversary edition, published 1981. 40 years after the original Puffin books, and it was reprinted 21 times. So that's once every other year they reprinted it. So that's very, very nice indeed. So very pleased to have that. That's cool. So I've just got a separate pile there to be bagged. That's cool. Right, so this is good. This was a Penguin reading case. Now, ironically and sadly, it's a blue coloured one, which is what I've already got. I'm after some of the other rather funky covers. It's got a copy of Penguin #1 in, so it wasn't all bad. It's a reprint. It's Penguin #1, number 7, a 7th printing rather. So I need to compare this 7th printing against my existing 7th printing to see which one is the best. Because I'm only trying to keep one of each printing now that I've been through them. But this one's fairly robust. Obviously, there's no dust wrapper on it, and this would have had a wrapper. So, doing my aerial research, I've figured out that there was 9 printings in the vintage times, and printings 1 to 8 all had, I believe, dust wrappers. It was just number 9, which came out in like 1942, 43, which never had a wrapper. Because it's printed, so it's more like a wartime economy edition almost. It's been reset, so it's not as many pages. I did read Ariel recently. I read it this year because it's 100 years since Ariel was published in the UK, and it's a stonking read. I really recommend it. It just, it's not like a thriller or anything. It is a biography of the poet Shelley, who went on to marry Mary, who became Mary Shelley. So from that point of view, historically, is well worth a read. But it's just a good book. This is nice. This is the best reading jacket of its sort that I've come across. I have seen other ones. I think this is terrific. I absolutely love it. I love these sorts of things. I know it's weird, but I would pay handsomely for the other colours. I mean, I would pay like £10 to £15 each, maybe even 20 if it was really nice condition, for the other covers. No books needed. I just would like the covers with the Penguin logo on. And there's red, green, yellow that I've seen, that I know exist. So if you've got them and you want to sell them, or if you want to keep your eyes peeled for them, do please give me a shout. But I'll pop that in there for now, because I need to check the copy of Ariel. And we are almost there. It's not going to be a big 3-hour one this time round. We've got this little pile of paperbacks still to do, and then we just got a little bit of polishing. So I think this is this is the last of the Penguin specials, which is an upgrade. It's an old original one, but it looks in pretty tidy shape, this. So a big improver, I believe, on my own one. So I'm just going to give this a careful rub now. Yeah, it's interesting that the specials don't sort of go for more money these days, but as I was explaining to Matt, even during the war, the print runs on them were very high. And the first ones, like Germany Puts Back the Clock, I believe the print run on that was something like 250,000. So there are copies around. It's not like it's difficult to find. That's the real beauty. That's as good as you're ever possibly going to hope to find. So that's superb, that one. So very, very pleased with that. I'll pop that up there. And then we've got a few more specials here. Then I can spy a little bit of science fiction. What? I hear you cry. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be picking up a fair bit of that in the months ahead. I've got to say I'm a little bit penguined out. In a good way, of course. But it's not every day that you get such a huge collection come along in one hit. It just doesn't happen like that, you know. And I've still got over 500 books from that collection to go through and clean properly. So if you've not been keeping track, the collection that I bought, I went right back to the start, and I've been filming 100 at a time and putting out cleaning videos over on my dedicated cleaning channel. So if you've not come across that, please check out my unintentional ASMR book cleaning and repair channel, because it is filled with Penguin videos at the moment, and it will be to the end of this year, because I've got so much. Even though I only put up one video a week over there, there's a lot to get through, and I filmed the whole process, everything. So if you're at all interested in seeing how I clean books en masse, it's a similar process to what we're going through here now. That's the place to have a look and check it out. Now, while I'm at it, I always like to thank my Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members. Now, views have been down on the channel because I don't tend to do a lot of gaming content anymore, and that's the sort of thing which garners a lot of views. However, I believe my core audience are mainly interested now in the book content rather than anything else. Although I will continue to do toys and toy fair visits, and I will be doing old Star Wars stuff. I've got lots of Simpsons stuff which I want to put on the channel and use the channel as a vehicle for selling it to other collectors. So there will be stuff like that coming up. There will also be sales videos. So I've got some sales videos coming up. So the stuff that I didn't sell, Ed McBain here, the stuff that I didn't sell at the two shows, I'm going to offer here next. So that's the next place if you want to grab some. I've had lots of people, that's lovely that, I've had lots of people email me wants lists, and I pulled out what I've had and what I could find. But now the time has come to just start listing what I've got, or start filming rather what I've got for a sales video. So this is quite nice. This is one I haven't got. It's got a ripple in it, which I think is going to take a bit of getting out, but it's number 19. So when it's in with all its friends, I think it's going to be absolutely fine. But it just needs to be sort of laid flat for a couple of years, you know. But this was from Morris's £1 warehouse, and it was all of £1, so that was really cool. Now we'll pull a few of these because these need, this little pile that I've got here, all need brushing. Obviously that top one can't be polished, so put that to one side. Those ones, however, can. Just spotted a little bus ticket or something inside that, so slip that one out. Yeah, so many thanks to my Patreon and channel members. Without them, you know, I mean, it would be a lot of work for very little reward. YouTube seems to like every now and again, maybe once a year, they like reset the algorithm and they analyze the sorts of videos that you're putting up. And I think that's happened to me recently because the audience seems to have changed ever so slightly. Obviously, I've still got my main fans, and thank you very much for sticking with me. But, you know, sometimes they just change the way that your videos are promoted across the platform. And I think that's happened fairly recently. Happened in August. It was, but at the same time, I think it happened to a lot of people. So it's just like YouTube finding what people are watching, really, you know. So it is what it is. But my Patreon and channel members, I can't tell you how important they are and how grateful I am to have them, because without it, it would make this a lot harder to keep going, I have to say. I don't predominantly do it for the money, but it's nice to have a lot of your expenses picked up by the little that you make through a bit of ad revenue and stuff, you know. Anyway, enough about that. That's all good. So I think we are approaching the end. We are almost there. I've just remembered though there was a couple of larger items. In fact, there was only one larger item really that I needed to get out. So let me just grab that now. Now I pulled this one out because well, I've changed the camera angle because it's absolutely enormous, as you can see. It's a big, huge book, Penguin Panorama. It's a printing thing. It's the printing review, and you may have seen this in my Penguin Collectors Society video, but it's got a big 15p on the front, so I'm taking that off first of all. And basically, if you're familiar with the Q21, which is the Penguin story, which is an exquisite book that Penguin published for their 21st anniversary, I absolutely love it, and I sometimes just can't resist picking extra copies of it up because it's just my favourite Penguin of all. But the pictures in it, this came out the same year, and the pictures that are included in this book are massive versions of the ones that are printed in the paperback. So if we have a quick look through, you'll recognise things like that. They were printed in the Penguin story, but here it is in huge form, so you get to really enjoy the pictures a bit more than in the little paperback size. And it's just brilliant. Stuff like this is just awesome. I really like it. I really like it. These things, look at this in the warehouse and that sort of stuff about the early years of Penguin is it really excites me. So I just wanted to quickly show you this. Over the moon to get a copy of this. I got to say, absolutely over the moon. It's enormous, absolutely enormous. So yeah, Penguin, the printing review number 72 from autumn 1956. That is the one. If you're going to get it, that is a real piece of Penguin memorabilia. And that's absolutely corking. I absolutely love it. I love it. Right, the last set of things to do then was just to give these last few paperbacks a polish. So we've got this pile here all set in front of me, and they just need a bit of a polish just to finish them off, and then we'll all be done. So that was that mark, didn't it, on the front cover. So yeah, so not a massively long video today, which I'm pleased about. It's still going to be over an hour, which is par for the course with the pickups video, really, isn't it? But to be honest, my entire other channel is a pickups video. When you think about it, you know. A bit stubborn, that mark, but there you go. Yeah, so you know, if you're looking for a bit more of this sort of stuff, do check out the other channel. Now, looking ahead, I mentioned that I've got quite a few shows and things coming up. Well, I have. So, not this weekend, but next weekend. So the weekend, in actual fact, that you're watching this, I'm off to the Matford Toy Fair. That's Matford near Exeter. So I should be going to that one. I think the weekend after that, I've got the Innsmouth Literary Festival, which I'm going to with Dorset Bob. So I'm going up to Bob's on the Friday. I shall try and film a little bit of his warehouse because I haven't done that for ages. Then we're off to Bedford the next morning. Bob may take me book hunting. He has been known to do that on a Friday afternoon. We have got the entire evening free, and we are also going to go and visit Scott at the Sixpenny Tap. Say hello to him. Scott worked on Doctor Who, and he worked on Blake's Red Dwarf and Noel's House Party, amongst other things. Alien he worked on. Aliens, I should say. So he's a very interesting guy, and I really like Scott a lot. So we're going to go and check out Scott's pub again, because we haven't been for a while, which will be super cool. And then the next day, we're off to the Innsmouth Literary Festival. I think that's going to be something very different for me. I've never done that event before, but there's bound to be some stuff there. Bob is having a stall, so I'm going along to give him a hand, keep him company, and basically film the event for them as well, which would be brilliant. I think then we've got the first Shepton Mallet Toy Fair at the Bath and West Showground. That's in Somerset. So that is coming up. And I'll be doing my usual filming of the stalls. I'll be looking for some Matchbox and maybe a bit of Corgi, you know how it is. I still like my die cast. I have absolutely run out of room. And I'm going to have to start getting creative now. In fact, it's going to be at the stage where they can't, the new editions, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to fit into the cabinets. The only way around it is to start boxing up the models that I've got and not have them on display, which is a bit of a shame. But for the time being, that may have to be the way that it goes, and not have them out of their boxes for now. So I've got that. Then I'm off to London. I've got Exeter Fairs, and Exeter Fairs are the people who organise the London Paperback Show. They do also have pretty much almost every month they have a book fair, which is like rare first editions, an antiquarium, and adjoining that they often have a specialist fair, and that's where the London Paperback Show is, in the sort of adjoining bit, and they couple that one with an ephemera fair. But I'm going up the month before in October for the rare books and first edition show, which is being coupled with a photography show. So old photographs, so not cameras or anything like that, old photographs, a bit like you would see old postcards in a show. And I'm going to be filming that for Exeter Fairs, so I'm very much looking forward to that. And obviously the following month we have the London Paperback Show, which is the biggie. That is the big show of the year, so you definitely want to be at that one if you're a paperback collector. So that's what's coming up. Plus we'll have second visits to Matford and Bath and West before the end of the year. And I am also going to try and do a dedicated visit to Zardoz. Probably be solo, but I'm going to go up very early and spend the whole day there and have a really good look through with my wants lists and check all the different publishers and stuff. So it's going to be no distractions, just head down and have a good look around. So I'm going to do that at one point. And there is a rumour that on the back of the last Zardoz paperback show, Morris may be tempted to do one more of those, possibly in December. So that might be something else to consider. All right, so just bear that in mind. If you want, if you're craving a show and maybe you can't make the London one for whatever reason, then that might be an alternative. And Morris is definitely looking to get more dealers involved next time, because it was a bit of an experiment, this first one, just to see how it went. But people were really pleased to go along and gain access to Morris's warehouse. Which was a real highlight, of course, because generally you can't look through the internet stock because it's all online. So people were very pleased. So because of that, I think he's going to do the experiment again. And I certainly enjoyed going through his £1 bookshop. These next two books both came from there. And they're both books I needed. So super pleased with that. I just noticed that's got a tiny, tiny nick. So I'm quickly going to grab the glue. You do sometimes do that when you look over a book a second time. You do see a tiny fault with it. So running repair. There we are. Let's solve that one. Just stop that little nick getting any worse. Yeah, one of 3 New English Library Ed McBains, and I believe I have the other 2. So I wasn't going to leave this behind for £1, because it was too good to turn down. Even if I've got it, I'll have it as a reader, because I've got like a second set on the go as reading copies, and then this last one here. So yeah, so hope you've enjoyed that little look through my recent pickups. It's certainly been a golden few months for vintage paperback collecting. I've certainly had a ball with so much great stuff, particularly Penguin, of course, coming my way. It has sort of spoilt me a little bit, I have to say. Anyway, if you've enjoyed today's video, do please give it that thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage paperback content. And I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.